Hi Kipsters, happy Thursday. It's Miss S with your read aloud for the day. I'm so excited to practice today's skill because friends, it's such an important skill that we need to work on. It's actually a skill that we practiced earlier this week on Monday with our text Henry's Freedom Box, but today we'll be practicing it with a different text. So our skill of the day is answering questions using details from the text. And friends, this is such an important skill because it's a skill that you guys not only use every day in text study when you're answering questions and every day when you answer questions in different subjects, but it's also a skill you guys will use when you're answering questions on exams, which is really important as well. So the text we'll be practicing with today is Abraham Lincoln, Lawyer, Leader, Legend. This is a text that we've read several times in online learning. As you guys know, this is a text about our famous president, Abraham Lincoln. He was president many years ago during the Civil War, and he became famous because he helped end Civil War, and he was an important figure that opposed slavery or didn't agree with slavery. So as you guys may have remembered from the text, the Civil War was a very famous war in the United States between the northern states and the southern states. Remember, the northern states opposed slavery. They wanted it to end, which was Abraham Lincoln's side. And then the southern states did not agree. They wanted to keep slavery. They wanted to continue having slaves work on their farms. So eventually, after 4 years, the Civil War ended and the North won, Abraham Lincoln's side won, and slavery ended. And this book is all about his life, how he grew up, how he became president, and then his impact in helping to end slavery in our country. So let's jump right in. As always, I'm going to be answering a question first, following our steps, and then I'll need your help to answer some questions. So our first question that I'll be answering following our steps: how did Abe become a hero when he moved to New Salem? So step 1, say the question in your own words. So if I were to say this question in my own words, friends, I might say something like, when Abe moved to New Salem, what made him a hero? So when he moved to New Salem, what made him a hero? Step 2, think where to look for answer. So I remember Abe moving to New Salem somewhere in the middle of the text. So I'm going to skim to that page and see if I can find anything. So right here, near the middle of the text, I see the section of the text that describes Abe moving to New Salem. Step 3, scan text for important details in words and pictures. So I'm going to redo this section of text that I think might help us answer this question. So here it tells us that Abe has moved to New Salem. And then it says, then the skinny storekeeper, or Abraham Lincoln, took on the country's toughest wrestler. The giant was so impressed by Abe's strength, they became friends. Abe became a hero. So step number 4, answering the question. So we know that based on looking at this part in the text, Abe became a hero because he impressed the strongest wrestler in the city, and that impressed the other townspeople as well. So that's how he became a hero, and that's how we answered our question. So now, friends, I'll need your help with this second question. So let's see if we can follow our steps together. So the second question is, why did none of the southern states vote for Abe when he ran for president? So why did none of the southern states vote for Abe when he ran for president? So remember, step number 1 is to say the question in your own words. So I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to look at the question and try to say it out loud to yourself in your own words. And then I'll tell you guys how I would do it. So just say it to the person next to you or to yourself. So friends, the way that I may rephrase this question to make it a little bit easier to answer is I might say something like, why did Abe lose in every southern state? Step 2, think of where to look for the answer. So I remember Abe running for president near the middle or end of the text. So I'm going to flip to that part of the text, and then I'll read the section. Let's see if we can find the section that helps us answer the question. So right here, this page describes Abe running for president. A little closer. So down here it says that Abe received only 40% of the votes, but he won the presidency. However, Abe lost in every southern state. Newspapers raged against Lincoln's anti-slavery stance or opinion. They even urged the South to prepare for war. So that really takes care of step 3 as well. Scan the text for important details in the words and picture. That was our important detail. Step 4, answering the question. Remember, our question is, why did none of the southern states vote for Abe when he was running for president? And it says right there in the text that they were against his anti-slavery stance, or the way that he felt about slavery. So because all the southern states knew that Abe did not agree with slavery, they did not want him as president, right? Because they wanted a president that supported slavery because they wanted to continue to have slavery. But because Abe didn't, none of the southern states voted for him. And this is also the reason why the Civil War started around this time, because the southern states wanted nothing to do with Abraham Lincoln and the northern states. All right, friends, great job. Now I need your help to be answering our last question. So go ahead and log into Google Classroom, and then I'll read you the question and I'll show you the page that you guys can look at to help you answer it. All right. Why did Abe lose the first election for Illinois state legislator? I'm going to read you this section of text that helps you answer the question. So why did Abe lose the first election for Illinois state legislator? So it says right here, the Black Hawk War ended quickly. After the war, Abe only had 2 weeks to campaign. He lost the election. So let me read you the answers. A, he joined the army for the Black Hawk War, and when the war ended, he only had 2 weeks to campaign. B, the people of Illinois thought he couldn't be trusted because he did not approve of the slave markets. C, people found out Abe wrestled the strongest man in New Salem and thought he was violent and didn't like him. D, the people of Illinois thought he wasn't very smart and they didn't attend enough school. That he didn't attend enough school. So why did Abe lose the first election based on this section of text? All right, friends, thank you so much for watching my video today, and I'm looking forward to seeing your responses in Google Classroom.